RealEducation, 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 yeah. The real side chain, the real side butter chain. Act the fool. Alright, so in this experience, a bunch of us were hanging out at the beach. I don't know what beach it was. I remember Phil was there and Andy was there. And Duane and Kevin. Then we were on this big surfboard trying to surf the waves. Except for Phil, he was in the water. He tried to get up on the board with us, but then he ended up like flipping it and crashing us into this wave. And the next thing I knew, I woke up on some way different island. Phil and Andy were there with me too, but I didn't know where all the others went. There were a bunch of randos around us too. They kind of like looked like surfer dudes. We tried to talk to them, but they said they were junior college dropouts or whatever, so I kind of just ignored them. Peasants, you know. But I heard them say the only way back to the mainland was by surfing. And I don't know how to surf. The surfboard hadn't been in Fortnite for years, you know. Well, anyways. I started panicking about that, you know. Because I don't know how to surf. But then, like, my view cut all of a sudden. I saw Duane on this, like, triangular platform in the middle of the ocean. So I guess that's where he ended up. And then all of a sudden, this ghost just, like, appeared. And bumped into him. I got this strong impression that this was the ghost that was haunting and, like, probably killed Steven. You remember Steven? I think the ghost's name was Chat. So Chat had this, like, bag of groceries, right? And he spilled those when he bumped into Duane, which I guess makes sense. And then he demanded Duane hand over this V-Bucks gift card to pay for new groceries. It was weird. And that's when I noticed that Duane was, like, holding onto this V-Bucks gift card for dear life. V-Bucks are the Fortnite currency, really valuable stuff if you didn't know. But, like, Duane absolutely did not give over the V-Bucks. And then him and Chat just, like, started throwing hands and fighting. It was crazy. Then my view cut back to my own eyes again. Phil and Andy and I were starting to get surfing lessons from the randos so we could get back home. We were really struggling though. Then one of the randos said to head down a river to find this guy who could help us learn to surf. So we started paddling there, but we got kind of lost on our way. I had to stop and get off the board and tie my shoes. But that's when I heard this like sound in the distance. I told the other two to follow me and they did. And you're not going to believe this. The sound was coming from Jerma. That's the guy who's going to help teach us to surf, I guess. He was making these weird noises again, and then he sang the New You, which was fine, I guess. Then we watched Jerma surf. It was epic, man. He was a legend. Then he started a fire and told us to look into it, to learn the secrets of surfing. Phil and I stared into the fire and I saw stuff, man. Andy didn't really want to, though. He said it was ridiculous. Then my view cut again, and this time I saw this small island. Kevin was on the island, man. That's where he ended up. Turned out that he created a 5-star hotel, a generator, a coffee shop, a car, and a helicopter, all on his own while he was stranded on this island. He was living it up, man. I saw him, like, decide to fly home with his helicopter, though. He didn't even need to learn to surf. Then my view cut again. It was back to Duane and Chat fighting over the V-Bucks. Chat finally got the card, but it hit him when he was trying to grab it hard. It's sent into this place called Davy Jones' Locker. That's what the sign said. It was weird, man. There's this dude named Davy Jones there, and he looked really obsessed with feet. It's probably like a fetish or something. He kept trying to give chat these used socks and saying, "Chat, is this real?" Then finally my vision cut back to me. And Phil and Andy. We were really making good progress with learning to surf. But then Jerma told us this legend of some huge wave called the Big One. We were supposed to surf that wave to get back home. But he said it would require a sacrifice to like survive it. I instantly offered Phil up, man. It was kind of a joke, but it was also a little serious. So we started swimming out to face the Big One. And like, instantly it took Phil and Andy's boards. It was crazy. I let them on my board, but that made it way harder to surf, you know? But then we saw Duane in the distance trying to surf it too. And he totally biffed it. And he got swallowed up by the wave. Kind of a noob, if you ask me. And it wasn't in like a vor kind of way. It was just like a wave kind of way of swallowing. Not the vor way. Then Jerma did this like super cool move and saved him. But Duane dropped his V-Bucks card into the wave. And the dude looked destroyed about it. So Jerma tried to save the V-Bucks. But he got himself swallowed up by the wave, and man, he didn't come back up. But that's when I realized it. He was sacrificing himself so that we could get home. So I locked in, and I surfed so fucking hard. And I got us back to the beach that we started at. It was a hell of a trip, man. And like when we got there, Kevin was already there, you know. He crashed his helicopter into the beach and people were thinking it was an alien. I was pretty sad about Jerma being lost. But then, no joke, he just like swam up right behind us. Dude is a legend. Then we threw this big beach party and then I woke up. That was the end of the experience.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's very good, Eric. Was that the only one you had?
Yeah, I was the only one. Because I had to get up early a couple of those days recently. Made it hard to remember stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I had a team meeting.
Okay, no, that was very good. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts about it and how it relates to like awareness and stuff?
Well, it all relates to that. Okay, so we all go through a lot of things. As I've went through this my whole life, that's a lot of so much of it I've written in the books and what have you. Again, and it takes years for you to realize it. At first, it's just an experience, okay? But then again, eventually it equates into something else. It equates into your awareness. But not always at once, simply because just like when you go to school, like when you went to school, when you first went to school when you were young, it took quite a few years before you kind of figured out what school was all about. You didn't get it the first day just because you were there with the other kids and playing. It didn't really equate to you. So the experience that you're having and what's taking place, you know, at first you have it, and then again, it's going to take a while. And as the years go by, you'll look back on it. Certain experiences, I hold to certain experiences myself for my personal self. The real awareness doesn't need experience because that's awareness. That's different. But the personal self, it does need a relationship there with certain experiences, and you know, and you're the decider in these experiences. Even though you go through things and this and that, you decide to accept it or not. That's up to you, and how you accept it, how you see it, how you figure it out. That's all up to you. Yeah.
This is a great point. It's true that while awareness doesn't require experience, personal self often does. We all have our own unique experiences that shape who we are and how we see the world. It's how we choose to interpret and accept these experiences that ultimately defines us. It's up to each individual to decide how to perceive and make sense of their experiences.
Real side king, real side Burger King, real side king, real side Burger King. Rebazar out here grilling, what he making, no faking. He's making a fat patty, sharp-walled awareness. We looking for that real side Burger King, real side king, real side Burger King. Real side king, real side Burger King. Needless now out here grilling, what he making, no faking. He's making a fat patty, sharp-walled awareness. We looking for that real side Burger King, real side king, real side Burger King. Real side king, real side Burger King. Real side chain, real side Burger chain. Real side chain, real side Burger chain. Real side king, real side Burger King. Real side king, real side Burger King. Real side king, real side Burger King, real side Burger King, real side king, real side Burger King. The real side king, real side Burger King. The fool.